Hi everyone, welcome back to Now to Canada. This is after parking adjudication at City Hall in Vancouver, BC. I didn't have enough time beforehand, like I had thought I would, to try and do this. Plus, you're not in the right mindset when you're still waiting to do it because you just don't know what the outcome's going to be like, because you never know what kind of people you're dealing with in the room. Did they get out of bed on the right side or the wrong side? There was apparently another lady that was there in person, and when she walked in and was asking where to go with security, and he's like, to the left, and she comes into where I'm sitting, and she's like, oh, where is it? And I tell her where the office is, where we're going for the courtroom, and I'm like, it's that way, right? It's to the left. And then she's walking away from me, and in her head, well, actually, that's to the right of me. So you know immediately she's in a state of mind where she's like, okay, I'm up for a fight, right? She's in that state of argument. Like she just wants to be right, even though it's obviously the opposite. And I said, well, it's to his left is the only way I could explain it to her based on where the security was sitting. And where I was sitting, it's also to my left. And like when you get to the hall, when you're going down the hall to where the door is, it is to your left. So long of the story, short of it is, when we got inside, I guess they had enough experience with her in the time that we're in that building, whatever, that instincts were on. This lady's going to be our afternoon, right? This is our huge docket. So there's two of us in the room, and the lady that's listening to it, it's all women, female security guard and her assistant and the adjudicator, which is awesome. All power to women. We can do jobs better than men, clearly, because of the parking ticket person was a guy. This is an obvious open and closed case of that. So she looks at us and says, oh, we have a rather big docket this afternoon. And I'm sitting there smiling. Well, there's only two of us in the room. Right, and I know what my case is, right? It's just a really open and close parking issue that you can't really misunderstand with the evidence, right? The pictures and the statements of facts that go with it, and the stuff can all be verified with the police. So she's like, oh, can you state your name? And then I tell her my name, and then she's like, oh, well, we're going to do your case first. Because her brain is like, if this is a really big docket, like if the other lady is going to be the problem, then we want to get the nice lady, which is you. We want to get you in and out. So I'm going to turn the camera over, and I'm going to sort of try to walk you guys through what happened. Hi, everybody. Sorry if I'm just walking through the story of my adjudication case, but I'm sitting in a Wendy's doing this, and it can be a little distracting. So I'm going to switch the camera over. Okay, so last year, on Labor Day weekend, I parked my new-to-me Volvo outside of my apartment building under the balcony. I did it on September 1st between 3 and 5 in the afternoon after church on a Sunday. I was trying to pack my car to go camping on the island to visit family cemeteries and just have a week off, because that's the whole point of the Labor Day. So what happened is between 3 and 5, somebody came along in the alley and randomly decided to throw that weird looking item there through the window really hard and busted the windshield to my new to me car, and also smashed the tailgate light. It broke. And so the following morning, some parking dude comes along. And these are his pictures. I didn't even have to take them. He took them. He pulls up to my car at 9:44 in the morning on Labor Day, the holiday itself, when everything is closed. As you can see there, the business across the street, and the building that they store stuff in behind my car here in a separate building away from where I'm living is also closed, and there's no work. Nothing's happening. So, and you can also see that there's no signs anywhere on the street that says you can't use this for residential purposes, especially on holidays. So he comes along at 9:44 and sees the back of my car, and he just thinks, oh, she's abutting commercial property. But you can see in this color picture that I'm sitting in front of the parking lot, that parking garage belongs to the housing facility of where I live. It belongs to them. So you can see that I'm not blocking anything but the parking garage that I'm not allowed to use, that I fought for over a month to be allowed to use, but they're not even using it for themselves. And those parking garages are very clean and very nice. And another guy in the building has a motorcycle, so it's not right that we're not using them. At any rate, he gets out of the car and he goes to the front and he takes pictures of the front of the car. And you see there's a note in the window, and the note says basically, if there's something wrong with the car, if there's a problem, please call me. Now I put that note in the car window, not because of this night, but because I had it parked in my church parking lot while I was earning enough money to buy a 1-year insurance, because I had paid more taxes on the new to me car than I had budgeted for. So it broke my bank and I needed to work and earn some money to do that. And I had permission to park it in the church parking lot. So in case something happens, because sometimes churches have maximum amount of stay and they have insurance issues. So instead of it being towed, I just put a note to say, if there's something wrong, please call me. And so I just left that note there, because logically where I'm living, if there's something wrong, you're still going to want to call me. So the point was, on September 1st, that Sunday after church, I was trying to pack my car in the back lane so I could get all of my camping gear into the trunk and drive away without any of the homeless people that are encamped on the front street seeing all the stuff I'm bringing from my apartment into the car, and have the car sit alone on the front street with all that stuff in it, and not have it be smashed or stolen, or even worse, have the car try to be taken in, with everything in it. And so she understood that that was a pretty good reason to discreetly pack everything in the back instead of the front, so they don't see what I'm packing and they don't see me driving away in my new to me Volvo, because it was my first time bringing the car home. So here's what happened. After I discovered the window smashed, which happened within 2 hours, I had to unpack everything, take it all back into the apartment, and then I had to phone the police, and then I had to wait for somebody to call me back to say, okay, we're going to send a car to do a drive-through to see the scenery. So the car has to sort of stay there because that's where the accident happened, right? The incident. And they have to give me an incident report. So I had to wait I couldn't go anywhere. So I couldn't move the car legally, even if I wanted to, because now it's a police matter. And so she understood that part. And so I reconfirmed that it happened between 3 and 5, and that's when I was told that the car have to stay there till they showed up so they could see the scene of the incident and then give me the police report. And so she understood that too. Actually, the same people I dealt with were not the ones that actually ended up coming. They never came. The original car that was supposed to come never ever showed up. They never called me back. I never got my incident number. What did happen is, because I had complained about there needing to be more cars doing back lane checks, they had to beef it up a bit. So in the middle of the night, there was an alley check, and a different cop car and a nice guy stopped, and he saw it. The note on the front window, he saw it, the broken windshield in the back, and he said, oh, she might not know about that, I should call her. And he had the license plate information, and so he calls me up and reports the incident to me, and then I tell him what happens, and that I was waiting for somebody to give me the incident report and for a car to drive by it. Nobody came. So he's like, don't worry about it, I'll deal with it. So he sat there and he wrote it up, and then he gave me the incident report. And so I was able to move it the next day, because after he called, I went back to sleep because I was already half asleep. It was in the middle of the night anyway. So I could not take it to a glass shop and have it changed if I didn't have the incident report number, because that's the only way I could use the deductible. And anyway, the police all said the same thing. Oh, well, there's no evidence. There's no cameras anywhere. We can't prove who did it. We can't make any arrests, even if you have pictures of other people in the alley that were still here on the day of it. And then I asked them, of course, I was stupid enough to try to say, hey, did you guys, have anything to do with this? And obviously one of them probably did, but of course they denied it. So they're like, well, we can't do anything about it. Even if you still have the weapon, we're not going to check for prints. This is not like a 1-hour TV show where it's open and closed case. So they're like, oh, we don't care what you do with the weapon. And which is silly, because there would have been prints on it, because it was the guy's just straight hand. So I told the adjudicator the other reason the car had to stay there wasn't just because I was told that they had to come and drive by and see it first to witness the scene of the crime and give me an incident number, but because if I drove the car to a parking lot in an open area where I can't see or hear what's going on, the homeless people would likely just finish breaking the glass and then crawl into the car and sleep in it and cause more damage in the car, if not steal it. So I had to leave it somewhere where I could see and hear what's going on. So when this ticket guy came, he literally just looked at everything from a black and white perspective. Right? So that's why I did the black and white pictures. And this adjudicator was so nice, she didn't even bother dealing with the black and white pictures. The only one I showed her that she looked at in black and white was the one of the building where I said, no, I'm not blocking that business. It's completely closed up. It's a holiday. And I said, this is all housing. It's residential and it's owned by Bloom. And then when she looked on her records, she had two different statements from two different people about the names of the businesses. This one here across the lane and that building there. They do business together with rice being transported back and forth. And I said, I don't know either one of those businesses, never heard of either name, because there's no front street entrance where you go in and buy products like a store. They're just housing and storing goods in the back. And so that is just not acceptable to be picking on residents, especially on a holiday, where I'm trying to get away discreetly and not have my stuff stolen or the vehicle stolen, to try to say that it's commercial zoning when you can clearly see that it's residential. And I told her I never ever would have parked there if I had seen any signs at all. I said I did, of course, drive around the whole area to check for any kind of parking infractions, any signs whatsoever. And as you can see, even at the back of my apartment building, there's nothing there either. And so she could see all of that. And I said to her, that's the reason I printed off color and black and white, is that at the end of the day, not everything is a open and closed case. Not everything is black and white, right? And she spent the whole time adjudicating the case using the color pictures. And in my email, I had made a note that most of these pictures were all taken by the ticket guy. This was the ticket guy, this was the ticket guy, this was the ticket guy, and this was the ticket guy. Oh wait, this one might have been me. But at any rate, that was from me. The reason why I say it was the ticket guy, because all of his are framed. And mine don't have that. So it took about 30 minutes, and she's like, well, it was nice that you came in. Nice that you came and told your story. We're happy that you did this, like to explain to them that the business listed, the two different businesses, are conflicting information and not making any sense, and that she can clearly see that the car is parked under my balcony in front of where I'm living, which is residential, not commercial, and that it's a holiday and I'm not blocking any business because there is no business, nobody's working. So she's like, you can go now, and I'm going to go back to looking at myself. So long of the short of it is the other lady that was in the room. She said at the beginning of the whole thing that this is a big afternoon. We got a big docket. You can go now, right? It was very nice meeting you. And I told them how I worked on selling jam in the neighborhood on commercial area with the parks, and I had shown pictures. Hang on, I think I'm missing a picture. Yeah, here. I had turned to the community for help. I had made jam and breads and other desserts, and I put out a sign to explain what happened, and then I'm raising money to get my deductible back for fixing the windshield. And the neighborhood was awesome. Over the course of 3 days, everybody bought all of my products, and I got my money back. And she said, well, that was very enterprising of you. It was intelligent. And I said, well, that's what everybody who bought my product said. This actually was over $900 to pay for the windshield. Plus, he gave me a few other things that I didn't have to pay for. New windshield wipers, and he fixed my tailgate light. Like super, super awesome dude. The glass shop that helped me with all of that. So in the end, I worked it out with the community pretty good. There are some good people in Vancouver. And she agreed there are some good people. But the lady sitting next to me in the courtroom, who had like this big, huge folder of stuff crunched to her, who was already in the wrong mindset, where everything was to the right of her, but it was obviously to the left, was a total different ball game. So she's like, okay, you can go now, right? I've heard everything I need to hear. And she knows, like, you don't need to be here to hear the rest of what's coming out of this lady that's pretty much going to take up our docket for, like, the rest of the afternoon. because of all the evidence and pictures and stuff, she's going to want to speak through. So I absolutely respect the adjudicator today who asked for me to speak first and have me dismissed before the other one, so I wouldn't have to lose my, jovial state of mind, my happiness to be a joyful, kind, polite, nice person. I could just go and be on with my day and just keep being a chipper, merry person. I really, really valued and appreciate people who can see when people are in good mood and good demeanor and are good people and just don't deserve to have their day rained on or ruined. And so she took that into consideration and told me to hightail it, basically. So I did. So I'm at Wendy's and I had just finished my malt. I love Wendy's Frosties malts. Like, I swear it's all I ever eat. When they used to have a salad bar, I used to love the salad bars too. But I generally do not eat most of the American restaurant foods. I just don't. Even though these guys are trying to use Canadian beef, which is thumbs up, I tend to just not like most of the restaurants. The Taco Bell and the Chuck E. Cheese and the Arby's. I don't eat any of that stuff. Anyways, things went well. I have one more ticket to go. And I have tons of videos of that proving that I paid my $2 into the meter and that it was supposed to be 24 minutes. And it was about 10 minutes over from the time the ticket guy gave me the ticket. And so the maximum amount of time with the video footage I recorded and uploading those videos that I could have possibly been gone is 48 minutes, which means in total I owed them another $2. Another toonie for another 24 minutes. Not $100 or $77, whatever it was, for 300% increase in price. So I have established the videos and the timestamps of when I left. I got to the photo shop at 2:12 and I got back by 2:57, and he gave me the ticket at 2:46. So there's another open closed case with the videos and the pictures I have. So that one's at 10:30 in the morning on the 11th. And then after that, I can sort of look forward towards the plans of my summer. My tenants have moved out, or they are moving out in Gatineau, Quebec for the end of June, which means I have my apartment back. And so I can go camping and hiking on that side, but I need to figure out what I'm doing about cars because this poor Volvo is not ready. It's not safe enough in my mind. She's just not good for a cross-country trip, and I want to have a car on both sides, the place I have over there and the place I have over here. So I'm battling out what I'm going to do because the warm season here doesn't last very long. But if you go and watch other videos on this channel, you'll see that I was talking about my Val Kilmer tribute book that I did. It's done. I did do my prompting videos, teleprompting videos at the library in Vancouver, but I have not uploaded those yet. There are some hiccups in there that I'm hoping I can get take out, removed, in sound and other things before upload, but I'll try to upload at least one of the clips that I did of the clips that I have that are on my laptop soon, so people can get with that. But I will make more copies of the book, and I will try to put that up available on the website, futureproductions.online.com. And you can go to my local media page, which you can get to through all my contact information on my website, futureproductions.online.com. And go to all those other social media places, and you can go to the Instagram at Future Productions Online and also see pictures of my Val Kilmer tribute book that I wrote in like a whopping speed of 6 weeks from the time we all were told that he had passed away to the completion and printing of that book. So I'm pretty happy and proud with that. So there's more to come. 8 Mile 2, 2 different variations, handwritten copy and then the printed copy. So it'll be a lot of chapbooks or self-published books this year, along with all of the other movie scripts. So bye for now, guys. Thanks for watching. YouTube.com/I am just Jen. Come back for more of my court case adventures. If I win the third one, that'll be all 3 tickets that I've had in my entire time of being back in Vancouver thrown out. And so that's like winning every case. Like I did 3 landlord and tenancy cases and I won those 2. So, I mean, I think I should, take over Matlock's practice. All right, Superwoman signing out, guys. Bye.